Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video on the channel. Today we're going to be ranking every brawler in the game from worst to best. I hope you guys enjoy. Make sure to like the video if you haven't already. Make sure you're subscribed because 62% of you guys are not subscribed and we're getting really close to 200k, so we very much appreciate it if you could subscribe. Also, make sure you're using a credit code in the shop. If you want to support me, you can use code TOM. Let's get right into it. Okay, so starting the list off at number 50, then we have Shelly. So even though Shelly keeps getting buff after buff after buff, I still feel like she just doesn't have a mode where she kind of really shines, and also is very matchup dependent because you basically need to be against tanks to really do anything with Shelly. Okay, so at number 49 we have Jackie. So the thing about Jackie is Jackie's super is just really bad. I think it's probably one of the worst supers in the game, and apart from that, I don't know, Jackie doesn't really have any insane modes. Of course you can play Jackie with Poker or tank, but honestly Jackie is the worst tank right now in my opinion. And yeah, there's just a lot of other brawlers that I play right now other than Jackie. Okay, at number 48 then we have Gale. So Gale is okay against tanks. Like, it's an okay tank counter, but honestly it's not the best. And then honestly against any other matchup, whether it's long range, mid range, like against Spikes, Pipers, Gale is just awful. So that's why Gale is this far down. Okay, at number 47 we have Carl. So Carl was always good in Siege because of that gadget. You could actually go and get that first bolt, but now brawlers like Buzz and Mortis are really good. You don't need to use Carl even in Siege anymore. So Carl doesn't really have one mode where he's really good in, or even very usable in, so that's why Carl is as far down. Okay, at number 46 then we have Lou. So Lou is probably still A tier in Hot Zone, but apart from that I would say Lou just doesn't really have any game modes where he is very good in. He's okay in Siege, but apart from that he's pretty bad in every other mode. Okay, so at number 45 we have Primo. Primo is one of the worst tanks, obviously still trying to recover from that huge nerf he had in these recent balance changes, but honestly you can play Primo in a Poker or tank comp and he's going to be pretty good everywhere. But of course if you're not playing any healer or anything like that, or even like triple tank and heist, he is probably going to struggle a lot of the time. Okay, so coming in at number 44 we have Nita. Nita is A tier I would say on Pit Stop and Super Stadium, but apart from that Nita just has no real maps where she's actually very good right now. So yeah, Nita only has her 2 maps, and apart from that you can't really play Nita anywhere else. Okay, so at number 43 we have Dynamite. I feel like Dynamite is definitely the best he's ever been, so that's why he's actually quite high considering it is Dynamite, but it's still very difficult to hit your shots, and also you're just going to get completely folded against any aggro, which there is a lot of right now, like Buzz and Mortis. So yeah, Dynamite is pretty good right now, but again, you know, it's a very high skill cap brawler, hard to hit your shots and pretty easy to dodge. Okay, so at number 42 we have Penny. So Penny just really struggles because it takes you so long to get that turret, and it's actually really easy to kind of just destroy it essentially with like one Brock super, or just walk up to it and kill it. And obviously there's quite a lot of Brock in the meta right now, so Penny is just really reliant on that super, and honestly I just felt like it's really easy to take out. Okay, so at number 41 then we have Mr. P. So Mr. P just completely struggles against any kind of aggressive comps like Mortis, Buzz, any Poker or tank. Mr. P is pretty much going to get absolutely folded by, and honestly you don't see too much B and Jean in the meta right now, and that means you don't really see much Mr. P. So I felt like if B and Jean were like some of the best brawlers right now, you definitely see a lot more Mr. P, but yeah, right now you just don't see much Mr. P at all. Okay, so at number 40 then we have Bo. So I feel like Bo is like maybe 1 or 2 buffs away from being a top 10 brawler, so you definitely have the damage with Bo. You can play Bo on Gem Grab, quite a few maps like Ice Fort, like Double Swoosh, and you can also play him on, of course, Snake Prairie, which is obviously like the best brawler on that map. But yeah, I feel like Bo is definitely getting very close to being pretty meta, but right now there's still just better options as a mid and also a lane. Okay, so at number 49 we have Bull. So I definitely feel like Bull is S tier on Pit Stop, also pretty good on some like short range Siege maps, but apart from that I feel like a lot of heist and Siege maps right now are very long range, so it doesn't kind of favor the tanks, but I definitely feel like Bull is very good when used with triple tanks on those short range Siege and heist maps. Okay, at number 38 then we have Frank. So Frank is very good on Siege, also really good on Brawl, usable on Hot Zone, and basically really good in any kind of Poker or tank comp. But yeah, Frank right now now. Pretty solid brawler, I would say. Okay, so at number 37, we have Colette. So I'd say Colette is probably S to A tier in heist, or most heist maps at least. But apart from that, Colette just doesn't really have a mode, which she's actually very good in. So yeah, that's why maybe Colette is quite low down, because she's only really good in heist and not too good in any other modes. Okay, so at number 36 then, we have Daryl, who is one of the better tanks right now. Usable in Brawl, Bounty, Heist, Siege, any kind of short range maps. Daryl is one of the better tanks right now. Okay, then at number 35, we have Nanny. So Nanny is obviously S tier in Bounty, but apart from that, you don't really see too much Nanny. You'll see it a few times maybe countering Piper in some of those more long range Siege and heist maps, but yeah, apart from that, you don't really see too much Nanny. Okay, at number 34 then, we have Rosa. So Rosa is one of the better tanks right now, especially good on those grassy maps, and obviously very, very good when used with Polka Dot Tank on maps like Ice 4 and Brawl. And yeah, I feel like Rosa definitely pretty solid right now. Okay, at number 33, we have Jessie. So I feel like Jessie is pretty solid right now. Obviously not insane, because Belle is basically a better version of Jessie, but I definitely feel like Jessie is probably A to S tier in Hot Zone. Also really good and solid on some Brawl maps, pretty good on some gem grab maps like Ice 4, and I guess okay in Siege and some heist maps. So yeah, I definitely feel like Jessie is not too bad right now. Okay, so at number 32, we have B. So B and Jessie, I feel like they're pretty similar, both very good against tanks, both pretty squishy, have similar matchups and stuff like that. So that's why I put them kind of close together. I do feel like B is one of the best counters to one of the best brawlers in the game right now, which is Ash. So yeah, I definitely feel like B does have some uses, obviously pretty good against tanks as well, but with Mortis being as good as it is right now, I feel like there is some better tank counters. But yeah, B definitely not too bad right now. Okay, so at number 31 then, we have 8-Bit. Now 8-Bit is a solid mid, pretty solid against Piper, but the reason 8-Bit is kind of this low is because Belle completely counters 8-Bit, because basically when you're standing near your turret, those shots are kind of going to bounce off your super obviously and come back and hit you, so it's not too good. But yeah, I feel like if you're not playing against a Belle, 8-Bit is definitely pretty usable and definitely a pretty solid mid in most modes right now. Okay, so at number 30 then, we have Colt. So Colt is definitely not too bad right now, pretty usable, pretty good actually in heist, also pretty good in Siege and Brawl and some Hot Zone maps as well, mainly used to kind of just open up the map. And yeah, obviously Colt is not the easiest brawler to play, but yeah, I definitely feel like Colt is pretty solid right now. Okay, so at number 29 then, we have BB. BB is extremely good on those short range maps, especially in Siege and heist, and also pretty usable as well in Brawl, Gem Grab and Hot Zone when you are playing like a Polka Dot Tank comp. But yeah, I definitely feel like BB is really good right now. Okay, so at number 28 then, we have Griff. So Griff is very similar to Colt, played in those wall break comps to kind of open up the map and make it a little bit easier for your team. Is actually a really solid lane right now, pretty good in most modes and really good on those kind of short to medium range maps. Okay, then at number 27, we have Amber. Amber is extremely good in heist, Siege, really good in Brawl, also some gem grab maps. Just such a solid lane, honestly, literally the easiest brawler in the entire game to play. You just hold that ult Wayne button down and Amber does the rest. Amber is an absolute beast right now and is super easy to play. Okay, then at number 26, we have Ems. Ems is definitely pretty solid right now because we see a lot of Mortis, a lot of Buzz. You have that knockback, which is really going to help you. Also, we had the return of maps like Pit Stop, those shooter range maps where Ems is really going to thrive. And I definitely feel like Ems is a solid pick on any kind of short to medium range maps, especially if you're trying to counter tanks. Okay, then at number 25, we have Squeak. So Squeak is actually like really, really good in Hot Zone, pretty good in heist, also okay in Gem Grab, and really good in Bounty as well. So yeah, Squeak definitely isn't as broken as we first thought he was when these balance changes came out, but he's definitely still now very, very usable. Okay, at number 24, we have Ruffs. So Ruffs is really good when paired with like healers, and basically, I don't know, Ruffs is pretty solid in like Hot Zone, Bounty, really good as well in Gem Grab, any of those kind of slower modes. Also pretty good in like the Brawls as just a lane. Ruffs is, yeah, really solid. Okay, at number 23, we have Tick. Now Tick is obviously S tier in Bounty, pretty good in Hot Zone, some Brawl and Gem Grab maps. Also pretty solid on Siege, and I guess okay on some heist maps, but honestly not the best in heist. The reason Tick is this high is because when you need a thrower, most of the time, or a lot of the time, you do go to Tick if you want to be able to counter those aggressive brawlers like the Mortises, the Edgar. Obviously, Tick has those supers and also those gadgets, which is really going to help Tick kind of destroy and defend against those aggressive brawlers, which is definitely pretty helpful. Okay, then at number 22, we have Edgar. Edgar is amazing after the buff. Really solid in every single heist map. I'd definitely say S tier in heist, probably A tier in Brawl. Pretty good in some hot zone maps. And yeah, honestly, just a really solid brawler overall. I do feel like Edgar can get hard countered very easily though, whether it's just like a Surge or some other tanks, you know, you can counter Edgar pretty easily. Okay, then at number 21, we have Max. So Max mid right now is really solid. It's not broken, it's not bad. I just feel like it's definitely very usable. It's solid and it's good a lot of the time if paired with the right brawlers, for example, like aggressive comps, for example, like Mortis, Buzz, or just aggressive lane brawlers, like say, for example, Tara and Amber. But yeah, I definitely feel like Max is such a solid mid on every single mode right now. Okay, then at number 20, we have Surge. So I definitely feel like Surge is one of the safest lanes to go in the entire game. The reason is why Surge is maybe a bit lower than you would expect is because brawlers like Spike, like Tara, they have these gadgets obviously which kind of do counter him, because you can't TP, like if you TP onto a Spike now, it used to be a free kill. Now they just put the gadget down and you end up dying. So yeah, it definitely doesn't help, but still Surge is incredibly strong in Brawl, Gem Grab, pretty solid in the hot zone, heist, and also siege as well. So yeah, Surge is still incredibly good, but you do get countered by a few things now. Okay, then at number 19, we have Pam. Pam is an incredibly strong lane on those mid to long range maps, especially on a Brawl, siege, like heist, basically any mode with long to medium range, you can play Pam. The only problem with Pam, it does kind of get hard countered by Bow, and there is a ton of Bow right now, so that's why maybe Pam is a little bit lower than you'd expect. Okay, so at number 18, we have Crow. Crow is incredibly good against aggro, also pretty good against those long range brawlers as well, as long as you can dodge all right, but does get countered by brawlers like Spike, and obviously is not too good on those short range maps like Super Stadium, mainly good on the medium to long range maps like Backyard Bowl. So yeah, I definitely feel like Crow is really solid right now, but again, you have to be on those kind of long range maps. You can't really play Crow on the short range maps. Okay, at number 17, we have Jean. Even though Jean keeps getting nerfed, I just felt like the actual mechanic and the pull of Jean, it's just such a strong brawler still. Not broken or anything, but yeah, definitely still really solid. A really good mid, good lane some places, really good on siege, bounty, gem grab, heist, but still, you know, you're probably gonna come up against a lot of Bows and Pipers, which are probably a better mid than Jean right now. Okay, at number 16 then, we have Poco. So obviously Poco is the heart of the Poco Double Tank comp, which pretty much can be used on every single mode. It's such a strong comp. Also, Poco is great when paired with Ashe, and honestly, there's a lot of good aggressive brawlers right now, whether it's tanks or whether it's like a Buzz and Mortis. Poco is definitely amazing right now. Okay, at number 15 then, we have Tara. So Tara is an incredibly strong lane on the short to medium range maps, especially on those grassier maps, but again, really solid against the likes of Surge, any kind of aggressive comps like Mortis, Buzz, which you see a lot of right now. Tara is going to be a really solid counter to. Okay, then, so at number 14, we have Sprout. The reason Sprout is a lot higher than Tick, even though Sprout is weaker to aggressive brawlers, is because Sprout is still just a lot more better on modes like Brawl, modes like Siege, and just a better brawler overall than Tick, because of those walls and just the basic mechanic in general. So yeah, I definitely feel like Sprout does counter the tank counters, which means, you know, it is again just kind of like a rock paper scissors thing of playing a Sprout to counter the things that do counter tanks. So yeah, it's kind of weird, but Sprout can definitely be really good if you have the right matchups. Okay, at number 13 is Barley. Barley again is going to struggle against those aggressive brawlers, but also again counters those tank counters. The reason Barley is a little bit higher than Sprout is because you can deal with those tank counters a little bit better than say a Sprout, but you also are better on modes like Heist, pretty good as well, pretty similar to Sprout I'd say on modes like Siege. But yeah, I definitely like playing Barley right now in the meta. As long as you have the right matchups, you just got to make sure you're not against those Mortises, those Buzzes, or at least if you are playing Barley, make sure you have like a Surge on your team, you have a Spike, or you have say a Tara, which you're going to have to counter those aggressive brawlers. Okay, at number 12 then, we have Rico. Rico is still really strong on a ton of different maps and modes, especially with small choke points where you can really get value from your shots. But yeah, I definitely feel like the gadget nerf hasn't really done much to Rico, and Rico is still an incredibly strong brawler right now. Okay, then at number 11, we have Buzz. Buzz is crazy good right now, but again, it's very easy to counter with brawlers like Belle, with brawlers like Tara, Spike, Sandy, anything with a stun or this just has high damage and is good against tanks. But yeah, I definitely feel like Buzz is one of those brawlers that can beat your counters, because Buzz is amazing right now, especially when paired with another aggressive brawler like a Mortis and also a Poco. So yeah, I definitely feel like Buzz is incredibly good right now. Okay, so getting into the top 10 brawlers right now, starting off at number 10 with Mortis. I feel like Mortis and Buzz are really similar. That's why I put them next to each other, because honestly, it kind of depends how good your ping is and how good you can play Mortis. But I think generally Buzz is a little bit better, but I do think if you have like really good ping, you can definitely play Mortis to kind of a better level than Buzz. But yeah, I think Mortis is amazing right now, of course, against any brawlers, like weak brawlers like Piper and Brock, but also really good against throwers as well. And yeah, after the buff, Mortis is definitely a beast right now. Okay, at number 9 then we have Brock. Brock is incredibly strong right now, like S tier in Heist, in Siege, really solid on the long range Brawl maps like Backyard Bowl. Same again, really good on the long range gem maps like Hard Rock Mine, also pretty usable in Hot Zone as well. Brock is very good right now. Okay, at number 8 we have Piper. Piper is probably the second best mid in the game right now after Belle, and the only counter to Belle in the entire game pretty much is Piper. So that's why Piper is maybe a little bit higher than you would expect, because if the enemies pick Belle, if you're playing a Power League game, you can pick Piper and try and counter them. And obviously Piper is obviously really good in Bounty, really good in the long range Brawl maps. Again, same thing, very good on the long range Heist maps like Safe Zone, really good on the long range Gem Grab maps like Hard Rock Mine. And yeah, Piper is just a beast right now. Okay, at number 7 we have Sandy. Sandy continues to be one of the best lanes in the game. Even with that slight gadget nerf, you can still use it to kind of score in Brawl Ball, and you can still use it to stun people, which is obviously what it's made for and what makes it so good. You don't necessarily need all that duration. So yeah, I definitely feel like Sandy is still super good right now. Such a good lane on those medium to short range maps, and pretty much usable in every single mode. Okay, at number 6 then we have Spike. So the reason Spike is here is because you can basically, like, Spike's gadgets and star powers are so versatile that if you're playing a long range map, you can use Curveball. If you're playing a short range map, you can use Fertilize, which means Spike is so usable everywhere. And basically Curveball turns him into a long range brawler, and Fertilize makes him better on the short range map. So yeah, Spike is just so good right now. Pretty much at least S tier in every single mode except for Bounty. Like really good on Heist, really good on Siege, obviously great on Brawl Ball and on Gem Grab, and really good in the Hot Zone as well. But yeah, Spike is just such a solid all-round brawler right now. Okay, so getting into the top 5 brawlers right now, starting off at number 5 with Byron. So Byron Ash is the most broken thing in the game right now, but honestly Byron is such a solid and a great mid and lane, just a great mid to kind of long range brawler with that splash. He's kind of like a cross between a thrower and a long range brawler, so that's why Byron is so good. Also great at hitting your teammates as well. Synergizes really well with Belle and that kind of shield, and also is usable with 2 aggro brawlers like Mortis and Buzz, basically a better version of Poco. So yeah, Byron is amazing right now. Okay, at number 4 then we have Leon. Ever since he got this second gadget, he's been an absolute beast everywhere. You've been seeing Leon on basically so many different maps because of this new gadget, especially on the medium to long range maps like Backyard Bowl, like Ring of Fire, and like Hard Rock Mine. Leon is just amazing right now. Okay, at number 3 then we have Stu. Stu continues to be an absolute beast across pretty much every single map and mode, especially on those kind of short to medium range maps. As a lane, honestly probably the best lane in the entire game right now. Does get countered a little bit by Spike and Tara. Obviously those gadgets are pretty good at countering those single target brawlers, but yeah, apart from that, Stu doesn't really have too many counters and is definitely one of the best brawlers in the game right now. Okay, at number 2 then we have Belle. Belle is pretty much S tier in every single mode, so there's no way Belle couldn't be basically up here. Belle is so good right now, the best mid in the entire game. Doesn't really have any counters except for, I would say, Piper, and even then you can still win that matchup. It's not like a hard counter or anything. So yeah, I definitely feel like Belle is one of the best brawlers in the game right now. Okay, of course at number 1 that does leave Ash. Now if you haven't tried Ash with like a Byron or a Poco, any kind of healer, Ash is completely broken because you can keep healing him up. He's going to keep that rage, and when he takes damage, you're going to heal him back up. He's going to get more raged up. He's going to deal more damage, and yeah, it's just so broken. Ash with any healer is by far the most broken thing in the game, and even without a healer, Ash is honestly pretty good, but especially with a healer, you know, this is so broken. Okay guys, that is going to wrap it up for the video. Of course, it's impossible to please everyone with these lists, and for sure I made some mistakes, so let me know your opinions down below, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.